Hello, this is 5. This is part 2 on yesterday's video, kinda, I guess. If I sound exhausted at all through the video, it's because I totally am. God forbid I fucking go to bed instead of recording something at midnight. Anyways, goals. Back to it. I was talking about, like, older people with goals and how I just see them and they're miserable and how it bothers me because it's like, you know. I will say this, though. I feel like the older you get, the odds of success, never zero, but do go down. Unless you have something really specific, like first to be something, then it could be zero, but that's different. I'm saying a goal in general. Let's just use, I don't know, climb Mount Everest as an example. That's easy. It's done by like an 80-year-old, a blind man, a WN amputee, people of all ages. Happens all the time, right? Hundreds of summits a year. Let's say that's your goal. Everest is very expensive, right? The issue is it's a lot easier to save for something like that if A, you're young, like me, B, you live in a state that just, whether the state's more expensive or not, combined with being young, like minimum wage is just way higher. Like it's pretty high in my state compared to like Texas. It's like what, like $7 down there or something, and mine's like fucking almost 20. Not quite, but you know what I mean. And then if you get paid more than minimum wage for whatever reason, like I get a lot over minimum wage, which is kind of ridiculous for my age, and I'm I'm proud of that. I'm happy about it, very grateful. But these people at my work, it's like, although I'm, very grateful for everything, I think it's great. For the most part, it's a really good job for what I'm doing. I'm a tool maker. Um, just the guys there are just miserable, like a lot of the time. And it's like, dude, like what, like, do you have nothing to live for? Like, I get, things are expensive, life's hard, especially if you're like, well, literally only one of them is a new dad. Most of them are old, like in their 50s, 60s. So, like, a lot of this doesn't really apply to them as much because they've had their whole life to. They bought a house like 1 trillion years ago, and you could pay it off in like 10 years. So, that's a little different. But the point is, these people are there. Great job. And let's just say, I don't know, this isn't how much I make, but I'll just use it as an example. Let's say you make $20 an hour, right? Let's say your state's minimum wage is $20 an hour. Regardless of what state you live in, the cost to, say, climb Mount Everest is the same. If you're in Texas, the expedition is still 70, 80 grand, 40 if you get a cheaper one, whatever. If you live in California, I don't know, it's still the same price. So when you don't have, and I get, this probably sounds like kind of privileged saying this because I'm only like 17. I don't have to worry about this stuff right now. If you don't have to worry about this stuff, which is why I'm saying if you're younger and you have a dream and you're willing to make certain sacrifices for it, some states it might take longer than others, we'll say. If you're going solely off minimum wage, you can still achieve it. Like if it's just Everest, you can do that. I mathed this out the other day of how much, like if I make a savings account, put this amount in, like this percent of my paycheck in, and I work, let's say, average 48 weeks, did all this math, roughly how much money I'd have for mountains, because I plan on making a separate savings account just for it. And I was like, this is a lot of money. Like, this is a lot of money compared to what I thought. Like, it is absolutely possible, especially when you're younger, to achieve your dreams. It's possible at any age, but I feel like it's the most possible. If I wanted to, I could climb Everest in the next 5, 6 years. I could. If it's just Everest, I could. I'd have the money. I think I'd have the money. And if I trained properly, I think I would. But, like, would I like to at some point? Sure, but it's like, go try to achieve your dreams when you're younger. That's kind of my point. I've been fucking beating around the bush this whole video. But that's my main point is, like, try as hard as you can when you're younger because you have your whole life to do the other stuff. Because it's a lot easier to do the other stuff. Like, the other stuff's always going to be priority number one when you get to that point where you need to worry about them. Like, let's say it's paying a mortgage or whatever. Like, you can't say, oh, I'm just going to skip my mortgage payment because I'm saving money forever. It's like, no, you can't do that. But you can, if you don't have to worry about it, you don't have to, you can just be like, yeah, I can just save this money. I don't need if you're okay with that, it's like, oh, I don't want a house right now. I'm okay with waiting on it because this is my dream. I'll buy a house just a few years later or whatever. You know what I mean? That's kind of my beat around the bush. Yeah.